With this bow, the heroic souls of the past, whether their deaths were for glory, bravado, or the desperate struggle for survival, or perhaps the fierce battles they fought to live, all those who perished in the endless years of war within the inner realm, their souls seemed to appear as Wang Lin's words echoed in the air. A sense of sorrow spread, in that instant, from all corners of the four great star domains within the inner realm. This sorrow emanated from those heroic souls. Though they had died, their residual souls still lingered, silently observing the inner realm, unwilling to enter the cycle of reincarnation. They could not accept the heavenly Tao's reincarnation. They were unable to enter it, and could only transform into resentment and sorrow in this starry sky, forever existing, waiting for the day when all the cultivators from the outer realm's ancient stars would perish. They would wait for the day when the sealed realm grand array would completely collapse and destroy, to see if this seemingly endless war would ever come to an end. Within these four great star domains, Wang Lin bowed without lifting his head, keeping his posture of respect as he lowered his gaze, concealing the sorrow in his eyes. One by one, illusory residual souls began to manifest in the starry sky. The first to appear were the cultivators of the ancient era, before the sealed realm grand array had even been established, from both the inner and outer realms. They were the first batch of citizens of the ancient immortal domain, enlightened by the teachings of the ancient immortal domain and taught the arts of cultivation. They were the first living beings born from the evolution of the heavenly Tao. Their attire appeared wild, like primitive people, yet the aura emanating from their souls was filled with deep comprehension of the heavens and earth. When the sealed realm grand array appeared one day, they were filled with confusion and fear, attempting to break out, but ultimately perished one by one. Now, after such a long time, their heroic souls were summoned by Wang Lin and appeared in the four great star domains of the inner realm, silently gazing at Wang Lin in the sea of clouds. After them came the ancient cultivators of the upper realms, or rather, the immortals from the four great immortal realms before they were destroyed. Though they were not true immortals from the immortal firmament continent, in Wang Lin's heart, they were immortals. They had died under the sealed realm grand array in their endless attempts to break out. They had died in countless invasions from the outer realm, their tragic souls vivid in Wang Lin's memory. Even though he bowed his head in respect, he could still faintly sense their presence. He clearly remembered the first time he saw the statue of the Lightning Thunder Clan in the Land of Seven Colors. Through that statue's memory, he had witnessed the shock of seeing immortals within the sealed realm grand array, doing everything to break free, but ultimately dying one by one. Today, for the first time since their death, these immortal souls were summoned from the void. Following the immortals came the shattered souls of cultivators who died in the 100-Year War in the present cultivation world. Some of them Wang Lin had met before, but many were strangers to him. Yet, at this moment, all these souls that appeared in the four great star domains were those who had died in battle within the inner realm. Their deaths must be remembered by future generations. Throughout history, in the countless wars between the inner and outer realms, far too many cultivators and living beings had died, yet no one had ever memorialized them. Not in ancient times, nor in the days of the upper immortal realm. Only now, only Wang Lin, at this moment, was the first to memorialize the souls of those who perished in battle. Do you wish to become the eternal array spirit of this formation? Wang Lin raised his head, looking at the heroic souls made of resentment that had manifested in the four great star domains, and loudly spoke. As Wang Lin's words rang out, the countless heroic souls in the inner realms suddenly twisted, turning into formless auras that surged toward Wang Lin. The first to approach him was a cultivator from the ancient era, his form blurry, his soul eyes dim. He appeared 100 zhang in front of Wang Lin, gazing at him deeply, then, with a fist salute, bowed to Wang Lin, who maintained his posture of reverence. After this bow, his soul flickered and was pulled into the wheel formed by the three great origins, willingly becoming one of the array spirits. Following him, one by one, the souls of those who died in the ancient wars came, each arriving at Wang Lin's position 100 zhang away, bowing without hesitation and merging into the revolving formation. though they still carried the resentment of their deaths. In this moment, with this bow, they willingly merged with the revolving wheel formation, becoming its undying array spirits. For the inner realm, they had fought and died. Even after death, their residual souls all dedicated themselves to the cause. They were heroes in life, and heroic souls in death. 1, 2, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, tens of millions. In this long stretch of time, all the heroic souls of those who had died for the inner realm appeared, each coming to Wang Lin's side. Whether they were alone, or in groups of hundreds, or even thousands, they all bowed in unison. After them came the ancient cultivators, the immortals from the 4 great immortal realms. They hailed from realms of wind, rain, thunder, and lightning, yet their blood flowed with the same essence as the realm they once lived in, even as their bodies lay dead through countless years. Their souls, however, remained as souls of the inner realm. Born as beings of the inner realm, they remained souls of the inner realm in death. One by one, they appeared before Wang Lin. Just as their ancestors had done, they clasped their fists and bowed to him, before turning and merging with the grand formation in a flash. These scenes stirred immense waves in the hearts of those who witnessed them. Wang Lin remained unmoved, his posture still in the respectful bow. After the heroic souls of the immortals came those of his fellow Taoists, fallen in the 100-Year War. Their familiar or unfamiliar soul shadows bowed before Wang Lin, unhesitatingly entering the chaotic grand formation. Among them were some who had once been Wang Lin's enemies, and others with whom he had shared past ties. But now, their souls were united by the same protection, using their last strength to guard the inner realm. A solemn, tragic aura filled the starry sky. Those who looked on from all directions, from the outer realm, ancient stars, were stunned, their minds shaken by the sight. Within the Luo Tian of the inner realm, the remaining cultivators of the 19 cultivation stars stood up from their meditations and bowed to the starry sky. Nan Yunzi, Situ Nan, Red Fur Master, Qing Lin, and all other cultivators, without exception, rose in this instant, their expressions filled with sorrow and respect as they bowed to the sky. Not just them, cultivators from the other 3 great star domains, though few in number, also stood in this moment, their eyes seeing the scenes of past wars, before they too bowed to the heavens. Meanwhile, in the Cloud Sea star domain, far from Wang Lin's position, the 3 women, Mu Bingmei, Qing Lin, and Xie Qing, gathered together. Their faces were filled with sorrow as they bowed to the soul shadows that passed by them. At the same time, in the Kungsu star domain, in the vast starry void, the war ghost stood alone, his expression rarely showing such despondency. Standing in the stars, he watched the passing souls, a complex emotion in his eyes. Lu Kai, Li Dong, Chang Yi, are you here too? You died long ago, and yet I am the only one left in this world. Back then, we speculated why the inner and outer realms fought. I never imagined how fate would twist things. Now, I am the one who drives the war I once despised so much. We swore to change this, to destroy the sealed realm grand array, to free the inner realm from this heaven and earth. But you don't know what I learned from the immortal fate. I uncovered a shocking secret. A deep sadness appeared in the war ghost's eyes. Despite his cultivation nearing the peak in this cave mansion, he was still human, one of the beings born in this very realm. He was not without feelings. At this moment, under the summons of Wang Lin's heroic souls, his heart was pierced with pain. He stood motionless, his eyes lost in confusion. After a long while, he clasped his fists and bowed to the souls of the fallen. But as he bowed, his expression twisted in pain. A force erupted from within him, trying to stop him from bowing to these lowly cultivators of the lower realm. I can help you, but you cannot stop me from bowing to the souls that fill me with guilt. The war ghost gritted his teeth, speaking each word with resolve. Ignoring the resistance from his own body, he bowed fully to the distant star domain. At the same time, within the Zhao River star domain, a place previously unnoticed by Wang Lin's divine sense, within a floating asteroid, Tian Yunzi slowly opened his eyes. His expression was calm as he sensed the summoned souls standing silently in the starry sky. After some time, He walked out of the asteroid, stood on its surface, and looked at the endless souls that passed by. I must be the first, besides them, to awaken my memories. But no matter what, I was once a cultivator of the inner realm. You all deserve my respect. Tian Yunzi sighed softly, his sleeve swaying as he clasped his fists and bowed to the sky. Also in the Zhao River Star domain, there was one who had not been noticed by Tian Yunzi. This person, a young man, hailed from the crack of the ancient immortal realm that Wang Lin had once faced during his heavenly tribulation. Seated cross-legged in the starry sky, his form was hazy and unclear. But as his eyes opened, a sharp light flashed, and his expression showed disdain. What use is it to mourn these insignificant souls? A bunch of caged birds. I couldn't find the place Master Ma spoke of, so I won't look anymore. It's almost time for Master to awaken. This Seven Paths sect cave mansion, the light appeared soft to those within the realm, but to cultivators from the outer realms, it was blinding, causing sharp pain in their eyes. Beneath this light, countless residual souls of outer realm cultivators could be clearly seen, enslaved to power the slowly rotating wheel formation. Within the wheel, cultivators of the inner realm, sitting cross-legged, had merged into the formation, becoming part of the array's spirit. They were many, sitting within the wheel, their souls contributing to its operation. As the wheel turned, a deafening roar resounded, shaking the very heavens and earth, reverberating throughout the starry sky. In its wake, the cosmic order seemed to shift, allowing those within the realm to travel to the outer realms, while those from the outer realms were unable to enter. At the same time, the appearance of the formation did not halt the influx of the ancient starry aura. It merely blocked cultivators from the outer realms, preventing all from the ancient tribes, marked with the seal on their foreheads, from entering. With the infusion of the ancient aura, the limitations on the incense rituals were lifted. The shackles that had bound all cultivators in the realm vanished in that instant. As all the heroic souls of the inner realm entered the wheel formation, Wang Lin raised both arms and swung them outward. His white hair moved without wind, his white robes fluttered, and his eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light. He let out a low, roaring shout. Nameless wheel formation, open! With his roar, the wheel formation rumbled once more, expanding wildly in all directions. As it grew, it reached an astonishing size in the blink of an eye. This wheel did not stand as a barrier between the sea of clouds and the outer realms. Instead, it floated horizontally, existing beneath the starry sky of the inner realm, encompassing the entire realm. If the inner and outer realms were shrunk down countless times, one could clearly see this scene. The inner realm formed a circle, and beyond it lay the outer world. Now, the circular wheel formation existed beneath the inner realm, expanding toward the starry skies once belonging to the outer realms with a single motion of Wang Lin's hand. The rumbling intensified, shaking the inner and outer starry skies, and vibrating every corner of the cave mansion, causing the entire place to tremble. As the wheel expanded rapidly, cultivators from the outer realms, who had gathered around to observe, were now horrified and began retreating frantically. Some were too slow, and as the expanding wheel engulfed them, they let out blood-curdling screams. Their bodies withered away, their primordial spirits and souls drawn into the formation, becoming slaves to power its movement. In this frenzied expansion, the inner realm's starry sky was stretched infinitely. Everywhere the wheel covered became part of the inner realm. This was invasion, raw, naked invasion. The one who set up the sealed realm grand array all those years ago was unjust. By what right did they divide the inner and outer realms? Today, I, Wang Lin, will use this nameless wheel formation to reopen the starry skies and redraw the boundaries. Wang Lin murmured. As the wheel formation expanded, the area of the inner realm grew by nearly 20% in the blink of an eye. With this expansion came the shrinking of the ancient stars from the outer realms. Within this 20% of expansion, countless cultivation stars appeared. While mortals remained on those stars, all cultivators from the outer realms marked with the seal on their foreheads fled in haste. Those who lagged behind were reduced to ashes, their bodies disintegrating, while their primordial spirits and souls became slaves to the formation. For all the innocent mortals who perished in the wars between cultivators over the years, your souls, though not as eternal as those of cultivators, still remain. You are innocent, and today, in my name, Wang Lin, and with this wheel formation, I will send you all into reincarnation. Wang Lin raised his right hand, pointing toward the starry sky. The inner realm's starry sky trembled as wisps of smoke like breath, forming in places throughout the realm, swirled toward Wang Lin from all directions. Around him, an invisible vortex formed, containing souls of mortals far exceeding the number of cultivators. The vortex of souls swirled around Wang Lin. As his hands lifted, the vortex roared and rushed toward the expanding wheel formation. In an instant, the countless mortal souls merged into the formation, their energies propelling them into the reincarnation of the heavenly Tao. At the same time, as these mortal souls entered the cycle of reincarnation, the wheel formation expanded once more, from its previous 20% increase to a full 30%. I, Wang Lin, as a cultivator of the inner realm, am to guard for 3 years. During these 3 years, I, Wang, voluntarily give up everything and immerse myself into this formation, becoming its head spirit, guarding it until the end of these 3 years. Wang Lin's eyes were calm, and he took a step forward. His entire body merged into the revolving formation. Under the spreading light, his body and the formation fused together, indistinguishable from one another. As he sat cross-legged, the formation exploded and expanded by 40%. At this moment, the inner realm had expanded by 40% compared to its original size. The revolving formation had reached its limit and stopped spreading. Instead, it erupted with dazzling light that surged upward from the lower part of the inner realm, reaching endlessly into the sky. From a distance, the entire inner realm was shrouded in light, resembling a cylindrical shape. Wang Lin's body fused with the formation in the place where the Cloud Sea Star domain had a gap. As he sat cross-legged beneath it, the celestial Emperor Furnace appeared. He sat upon it, closed his eyes, and began his 3-year watch. These dramatic changes had caused the inner realm to expand by 40%, and the 4 great star domains expanded simultaneously. Furthermore, many uninhabited cultivation stars appeared within the inner realm. In this way, it was as though new life was infused into the inner realm. But for the outer realm, it was a severe blow. Throughout the entire process, the previously escaped Palm's sovereign had not appeared. He sat cross-legged in another palace, staring fixedly at the starry sky. His gaze was fixed on the exact location where Wang Lin was. He only has the strength of 2 bows. There's no mistake, only 2 bows. But I used the 3 lives technique once before, and now I have only 1 left. I must force him to expend that 2-bow power in these 3 years. Once his archery divine power dissipates, he will be defenseless. The Palm Sovereign's expression darkened as his eyes flashed with a cold light. His wariness toward Wang Lin had already surpassed the man who once drove him back with a single roar in the inner realm. Mystic Tone Tao Venerable, 9 Heavens Demon Venerable, and the Great Baron Sage, they are all trapped in the ancient god ruins, and the 4th immortal consort is also there. If these 3 could escape, perhaps they could consume Wang Lin's divine archery power. The Palm Sovereign pondered for a moment, then stood up and was about to take a step forward. Suddenly, he halted. His eyes flickered as his right hand rose, and a jade slip appeared. He left a trace of divine sense within the jade slip and swept it outward. The jade slip flashed and vanished. Council of Elders, listen up. Gather all remaining strength and launch an attack on the newly formed formation in the inner realm. Spare no cost. Destroy this formation within 3 years. All the supreme powers of the ancient stars, with my command, you may go to the Council of Elders and await orders to destroy the formation. All the cultivators with the 5th decay of heaven and man from the ancient stars' various tribes, I command you to quickly go to the Council of Elders and accept the Void Puppet secret refinement. If anyone refuses to obey, your entire tribe will be wiped out. Open the treasure vault of the Council of Elders, retrieve the ancient secret edict, and gather the blood of 100,000 cultivators. Issue the ancient decree. The Palm Sovereign's expression was grim, and his eyes gleamed coldly. After issuing several death commands, his body flashed, and soared into the starry sky. And Blue Dream Tao Sovereign, the fifth immortal consort's body, is his wife, and her soul still exists, coexisting with the fifth immortal consort. In the starry sky, the Palm Sovereign paused for a moment, his eyes sharp with decisiveness. In the blink of an eye, he vanished. When he appeared again, it was on the ancient star in the Blue Silk Clan's Blue Mountain. A sorrowful tune echoed from the Blue Mountain, and the Palm Sovereign stood in the sky, listening to the music. After a long while, he waved his sleeve and sent a message to the wooden house at the top of the mountain. Old friend Blue Dream, are you aware of what happened in the inner realm of Luotan? The melody continued faintly, and after some time, it gradually calmed down. From the wooden house, the voice of Blue Dream Tao Sovereign emerged. I know. If you can draw one bow from him, I swear by the power of the immortal bloodline to spare no effort and assist you in forcing out the fifth immortal consort's soul. The wooden house fell silent. The Palm Sovereign was certain that Blue Dream would not refuse. After speaking, he turned and took a step back, vanishing without a trace. When he appeared again, it was at a rift in the starry sky of the ancient stars. He did not step into the rift, but stood outside, his eyes flashing as he unleashed a powerful divine sense. Seventh immortal consort, you have been in seclusion until now, and your injuries have long since healed. If you do not make a move now, our previous agreement will be nullified. After a long silence, a calm voice floated out from the rift. I will make a move. The Palm Sovereign gave the rift a final glance, then turned and left. His figure flickered as he traveled from place to place, summoning the last of the ancient stars' power. Finally, he arrived at a deep part of the ancient stars, where 9 floating land fragments had come together to form a circular shape. An invisible formation enveloped this area. Only those with an immortal bloodline could enter. No one else could. On one of the fragments, even if one were to pass by here, they would pretend not to see it. Without an immortal bloodline, even divine sense would fail to detect the invisible barrier of the array. The Palm Sovereign respectfully cupped his fists. On one of the fragment continents, as he bowed, 7 out of the 9 floating fragments immediately emitted 7 different colors of light, interweaving to form a rainbow of 7 colors. The remaining 2 fragments were dim, overshadowed by the brilliance of the rainbow. As the colorful light flickered, a figure slowly materialized within the rainbow. The figure was blurry, enveloped in the 7-colored glow, but after a while, its form became clearer. From within the rainbow, it stepped out. If Wang Lin were present, he would immediately recognize this figure as the Rainbow Taoist, the one who appeared when he saved Qing Shui in the Rainbow Realm. Disciple pays respects to Master, the Palm Sovereign said after a moment of silence, lifting his head to gaze at the floating 7-colored figure. There was a complex look in his eyes. In the battle within the realm, our ancient star of antiquity was defeated. Master had previously instructed me to return the Li Guang Bao to the realm, and now it is in Wang Lin's hands. I am unable to oppose him. Please, Master, give me guidance. The 7-colored light coalesced around the Rainbow Taoist, who stood calmly in midair. His gaze swept over the Palm Sovereign. Has he truly gone mad? The Rainbow Taoist suddenly spoke. The Palm Sovereign's body shuddered. He closed his eyes, and after a long pause, opened them again and nodded. I don't think so. The Rainbow Taoist smiled faintly, lifting his gaze toward the distance, his eyes revealing a strange light. I will help you open the ancient burial ground and allow those few to walk out. As for what to do next, you may decide for yourself. This game is nearly over. The third one, you have hidden for endless years, reincarnated countless times. This time, you should reveal yourself. The Rainbow Taoist's lips curled into a smile, and an air of anticipation filled his eyes. Wang Lin, is he the third one? The Palm Sovereign hesitated and asked. Aside from you, me, the War Ghost, and a few others, anyone else could be the third. He hides too well. Perhaps he himself doesn't even know his true identity yet. As for Wang Lin, he doesn't seem like it. But it's not impossible, the Rainbow Taoist spoke slowly. The Palm Sovereign sighed inwardly, cupping his fists toward the Rainbow Taoist, turning to leave. But after taking a few steps, he paused and spoke solemnly, without turning around. Back then, you asked me to become your disciple, and I obeyed. The promise you made to me. Your master cannot leave here. Once I devour the third one, the war ghost will no longer be my opponent. At that time, your former master will become my supplement." The rainbow Taoist smiled slightly. His body transformed into a burst of seven-colored light and disappeared into the air. The Palm Sovereign's expression grew complex. After a long time, he sighed softly and walked into the distance. Time passed slowly. Wang Lin sat cross-legged in the wheel formation made from the three great origins. Beneath him was the celestial Emperor Furnace. Inside the furnace, two void profound experts were trapped. One a black-robed elder, the other the fifth immortal consort. These two were extraordinarily powerful. While trapped inside the furnace, Wang Lin could not refine them in the short term. He sat on the celestial Emperor Furnace, his eyes closed, constantly suppressing and sealing the powers within through his breathing. Guarding for 3 years, this was the hardest 3 years. It was hard to tell how long had passed. In the expanded cloud sea star domain behind Wang Lin, 3 long rainbows appeared faintly, transforming into the figures of 3 women. The 3 women stood just under 1,000 yards from Wang Lin. They gazed at his back from beyond the formation. This back appeared desolate, radiating a loneliness of solitude, yet there was also a sense of a towering mountain, as though he sat there like a mountain, providing enough protection for the realm. The first to approach was Shizi Feng. Her figure carried a sense of fragility as she slowly crossed the 1,000 yards, walking to Wang Lin's side. She gazed at him as he sat there, eyes closed. A soft, gentle look appeared in her eyes, and a beautiful smile spread across her face. "I've figured it out. I don't want to be your disciple. Never again. The lifespan of cultivators is long and enduring. I don't know how long our lives will last, but I only want 1 year of your life. Just 1 year, and that will be enough. You've guarded the realm for 3 years, so let me stay here and accompany you for 1 year." Shizi Feng spoke softly. Wang Lin remained silent, eyes still closed, offering no words. "After 1 year, I'll leave. If I die, I will vanish without a trace. If I survive, I will continue my cultivation in peace. You can remain silent, you can ignore me, but I will still stay here. You cannot drive me away." Shizi Feng didn't care about Wang Lin's attitude. She sat beside him, silently watching him as she crossed. She was already a beautiful woman, marked by the passage of time, but at this moment, by Wang Lin's side, she felt as though she had returned over 1,000 years, back to that era. Wang Lin was the first person she had ever liked, and the last one. The time in between was endless, stretching through the years. She was no longer young. She could even feel that in Wang Lin's heart, she likely did not exist. After all, their time together had been short, and perhaps, in his life, she was merely a passerby. She understood all of this. Shizi Feng never sought eternity. She simply wanted this 1 year, a year of companionship, to end her lifelong love. She was a woman without courage, but now, she had finally mustered the courage to say these words to Wang Lin. Although her expression seemed calm, her heart was in turmoil. She feared rejection, afraid that even this 1 year would be denied her. She looked at Wang Lin, biting her lower lip. "Go," Wang Lin said calmly, without opening his eyes or looking at her. These words seemed to strip away all of Shizi Feng's strength, and her face immediately turned pale. "I only want 1 year. Wang Lin, give me 1 year, okay?" In the silence that followed, Shizi Feng's voice trembled. Tears filled her eyes. Though she was a fragile woman, tears were rare in her life. The few times she had cried, most of them had been for the figure she could never forget. Fateful bond. The words of her master from long ago seemed to echo in her ears. 1 year. Can't you give me even 1 year? Shizi Feng cried out. "Wang Lin, I know you can't accept me, but I just want 1 year. Is 1 year too long?" Wang Lin remained silent, not opening his eyes. His stillness deeply wounded Shizi Feng's heart. She stood up with a bitter smile and staggered a few steps back. She felt like a ridiculous actress, talking to herself, and in the end, all her words became sharp blades, stabbing her heart. The pain was overwhelming. With a long sigh, Wang Lin finally opened his eyes, looking at the woman beside him, the one who had not been absent from his memories. His gaze softened gradually, and he spoke softly. 1 year, I will give you." Wang Lin didn't know if he could bring Li Muan back to life. He didn't even know if he could leave this cave mansion alive, or if he, too, would perish. After learning all these hidden truths, what strength did he have to refuse the request of a woman who only asked for 1 year? He knew that if he rejected her again, this woman would wither away, forever becoming just a memory to him. Perhaps, years later, he wouldn't forget that there had once been a woman named Shi Feng. Tears flowed from Shi Feng's eyes, tears of complexity. She silently sat down beside Wang Lin. 1 year is enough. Wang Lin, I won't take up more of your time. Shi Feng murmured softly. Far off in the distance, Mu Bingmei and the woman in pink remained silent, sitting cross-legged 1,000 feet away in the starry sky. When they had arrived together, they had shared an unspoken understanding. 1 person, 1 year. A year was not long. For mortals, it might seem so, but for cultivators, it was even shorter. Often, a retreat or meditation could pass in the blink of an eye, lasting several years. But for Shi Feng, she hoped this year would pass more slowly. Wang Lin was not a man of many words, especially with women. He was usually silent, even when with Li Muan, often watching her quietly with soft, unspoken affection. Before long, the first year of the 3 had passed, with 3 months slipping by. In those 3 months, Wang Lin spoke little, but Shi Feng was content. Together, they had spent the past 3 months in the revolving wheel formation. She knew Wang Lin enjoyed drinking. At this moment, before him in the starry sky, a small pot floated, boiling water within. A wine flask rested inside, warming the cold wine with the boiling water. The water had boiled, but the wine was still not fully warm. A chill, unnatural for the starry sky, howled from afar, blowing across the wine flask, causing ripples to form on the surface of the boiling water. Cold light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He raised his head and looked at the ancient stars beyond. In his gaze, he saw groups of long rainbows sweeping toward him. Cultivator armies from the outer realms, gathering once more. Among these cultivators, 5 stood out, exuding a pressure from the 3rd step like 5 arrows shooting toward him. Apart from these 5, there were war chariots the size of thousands of feet, driven by countless cultivators, coming at full speed. Booms echoed in the quiet starry sky, growing louder and louder, until it sounded like thunder descending. They're here. Wang the beast's skin was marked with intricate symbols in bright red, flickering with blood light that alternated between dim and bright, casting an eerie glow across the pitch-black starry sky. In addition to the war chariots, there were deafening roars that shook the starry sky. As the echoes reverberated, behind the 100,000 cultivators, a giant stone tablet emerged from the endless star domain. It was being carried by thousands of bare-chested cultivators, slowly flying forward. This stone tablet was about several thousand zhang in size, exuding a vast, ancient aura that spread around, enveloping the surroundings. Even more astonishing were the 9 iron chains that extended from the tablet, each with a massive coffin shackled to it. Each coffin was hundreds of zhang in size, and in the swaying motion, they looked like an octopus from afar, a truly shocking sight. This was the power recondensed from the outer realms, the first battle to destroy Wang Lin's wheel formation. The ancient stars from the outer realms, many of their cultivators dead, now gathered here, representing the extreme limit of the outer realms. Wang Lin looked coldly at the fierce outer realm cultivators outside the formation. His eyes grew colder, and beside him, Shi Feng's face was pale as she watched everything, her mind shaken. Wang Lin stood up from his cross-legged position, towering on the celestial emperor furnace, his white hair swirling. Shi, continue warming the wine. Wang Lin spoke calmly, and after his words, he took a step forward. His white robes billowed, exuding an air of ethereal grace. Shi Feng, whose mind had been shaken, immediately calmed at Wang Lin's gentle words. She lifted her beautiful head, smiling as she tucked a few strands of her hair behind her ear and nodded softly. The earth-shattering rumble came from outside the formation, and the 100,000 cultivators did not approach fully, but stopped several thousand zhang away. They clearly knew the power of Wang Lin and his formation. After stopping, they all sat cross-legged, their hands forming seals, each touching their foreheads. As they did, The primordial spirits of these 100,000 outer realm cultivators suddenly flew out and spread across the starry sky. The appearance of these 100,000 spirits emitted a brilliant light, instantly illuminating the dark starry sky of the outer realms. At the same time, 5 third-step experts from the army, who had avoided involvement in the battles within the inner realm, were now the last 5 standing, the final powerful figures outside the realm. These 5 third-step experts had not participated in the battle within the realm, but were stationed in the outer realms as reinforcements. However, now, they had no choice but to step forward. The order from the Council of Elders had been issued. Even if everyone in the outer realm perished, they must fight to the death. At this moment, the 5 of them sat cross-legged, arranged in a line. They understood Wang Lin's power and knew that even with their combined strength, they were no match for the formation that sealed Wang Lin. But with the assistance of the 100,000 primordial spirits and the ancient secret art passed down by the Council of Elders, they felt they had a chance to fight. As they sat cross-legged, they formed hand seals and pressed their hands onto the back of the person in front of them. A deafening rumble arose, and the power of the 5 experts merged into one, rushing towards the leader at the front. The leader was an old man with white hair. His face was solemn. As the forces of his 4 fellow Taoists rushed towards him, his hair fluttered as if blown by the wind, and his eyes gleamed with dazzling brilliance. With my cultivation and bloodline, I will invoke the ancient great art, the path of creation. One strike, avoid annihilation. The old man growled, raising his right hand and pointing upward. A powerful light shot out from his hand, transforming in the sky into a giant sword several thousand zhang long. As this sword materialized, the 100,000 primordial spirits surged towards it, merging with the blade, giving it an unmatched momentum as it crashed forward. Slash! The white-haired old man roared, and his right hand swung downward toward Wang Lin's will formation, which was composed of the 3 great origins. With a swing of his hand, the giant sword boomed to life, infused with the power of the 100,000 primordial spirits, the strength of 5 third-step experts, and the ancient art's transformation, creating a force capable of splitting the heavens. From a distance, the scene was crystal clear. The giant sword howled as it expanded rapidly, growing dozens of times its size, until it seemed boundless. With a single slash, it hurtled toward the wheel formation. Wang Lin took a step forward, standing calmly within the formation. His expression remained unchanged as he watched the sword's roar approach, making no move, letting the blade approach in the overwhelming sound of destruction. In an instant, the giant sword struck the wheel formation with a thunderous crash. A mighty boom echoed across the starry sky, and invisible waves rippled out, spreading across the entire wheel formation suddenly shook, emitting a buzzing sound that echoed through the air. Yet, there was no sign of damage. After the great sword fell, the millions of souls trapped beneath the wheel, the outer realm souls, began to push the wheel forward in their agonized screams. They slowly turned the wheel, while behind them, the souls of the inner realm cultivators that had merged into the formation began to fly out one by one. Each of them conjured a whip that they viciously lashed onto the suffering souls. With each strike of the whip, the wails of the souls grew even more piercing, transforming their pain into strength as they furiously drove the wheel to rotate. With a mighty rumble, the wheel completed one full rotation. After the rotation, an unimaginable rebound force erupted from the formation, surging into the great sword. The booming sounds shook the heavens as the sword was violently shattered, collapsing into countless fragments. As the sword shattered, the 100,000 divine spirits it held instantly scattered. Each of their faces was dim, yet they did not die. Instead, they drifted into the surrounding space. The 5 supreme experts sitting cross-legged all turned pale. The elder at the forefront coughed up blood, but his eyes burned with battle intent. He formed a seal with his hands, pointing skyward as his hoarse voice rang out with shocking intensity. 100,000 divine spirits, 100,000 cultivators, we condense our vitality and lifespan, offering up endless years to summon an ancient strike. With this sacrifice, we will break this formation and kill this man. The elder spat blood, and at the same moment, The 4 others behind him did the same. Their expressions twisted with fury as they let out low growls. At the same time, the cultivators whose divine spirits had separated from their bodies also erupted in blood. Whether young or middle-aged, their appearances aged instantly. Those who were already old radiated the aura of decay. The power of this strike, bought at the cost of the lives of 100,000 cultivators, was enough to reach its peak. In the beginning of time, the world was in darkness, without light or life. The ancient immortal venerable descended, bringing forth the light of antiquity to illuminate the world. With the lifespans of our 100,000 souls, we offer up the ancient light, summoned from the edict of the ancient immortal venerable, the light that created life and can destroy the heavens. The elder's voice twisted with anguish as he roared. As his voice echoed, the 100,000 divine spirits fused together in a chaotic swirl, becoming a dense mist that covered the starry sky outside the formation in darkness. This mist, created by the 100,000 divine spirits, began to whirl. Its speed grew faster and faster until it nearly formed a massive vortex, resembling a black hole at its center, leading into another world. The rumbling continued as the vortex spun. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the black hole at the end of the vortex. The light was golden, and as soon as it appeared, it emitted a dazzling glow, shooting out with immense power. In an instant, the entire starry sky was bathed in gold. The light from this beam, even cast upon the wheel formation created by the 3 great origins, caused it to freeze in place, as though it was about to stop entirely. The countless vengeful souls within the formation screamed in pain, releasing streams of black energy, as though they were on the verge of vanishing within the formation. Far away, the figure of the Palm's sovereign emerged, gazing into the distance. Despite the vast distance, he could still vaguely observe the battle unfolding. The lives of the cave abode cultivators mean nothing to me. Even with the power derived from the lifespans of 100,000 cultivators, it would be quite a struggle to resist. Let us see if you can still use a bow. Wang Lin stood within the formation, watching as the golden light spread out from the vortex. The familiar aura of the immortal firmament continent enveloped him once again. He raised his right hand, pointing toward the outer realm. Flame domain fire umbrella. Open and extinguish the world. In the starry sky beyond, within the golden light, a massive fire umbrella unfurled with a rumble. As soon as it appeared, it began to push the golden light outward, as if it did not belong. Along with the umbrella's emergence, a destructive flame rapidly expanded. 7-colored path, embodying the changes of heaven and earth. Amidst the golden light and red flame, an image of twisting energy formed. Wang Lin's calm words carried a sense of finality as 7 colors, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and violet, suddenly appeared. These rays of light, emerging from the void of space, quickly fused together and formed a long 7-colored spear. This ancient light comes crashing through the sky, and I shall shatter it with the 7-colored spear. The heavens that it breaks, I shall repair with the flame domain umbrella. Though this light creates life, it cannot erase Wang Lin. The fire umbrella and the 7-colored spear erupted in a massive explosion. Wang Lin flicked his sleeve and took a step back toward Shizi Feng. He picked up the wine flask from the small pot and drank deeply. The wine isn't warm enough yet. Shizi, let it heat a little longer.